All right, greetings, Western Iowa Tech students. This is our first of many panels, right? And the name of this panel is Journey from Being a Student to Becoming an Employee. My name is Mike Brown. I'm Director of Student Activities, and I'm also the Alumni Coordinator for the school, which brings us to this panel because we'll be dealing with alumni through the panel. These panelists are all alumnus from Western Iowa Tech Community College, so that is a good thing. We have Laura, right?
Yep.
We have Tyler, and we have Chris, right? And the first thing we're gonna do is maybe starting with Laura first is tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I am employed here at Western Iowa Tech. I am a nursing instructor with the second semester students. And I did my nursing school through Western Iowa Tech.
Wow, that's awesome. Were you born and raised here?
Ida Grove.
Ida
Pretty
Grove.
close, yeah.
Well,
Yep.
kind of a Siouxlander still. I mean, you know, we're all Iowans here.
Yep.
And Chris, how about you?
Hi, everyone. My name is Cristobal Franciscus. I'm originally from Miami, Florida, but I was raised in Sioux City my whole life. I attended pretty much school throughout my whole life, you know, from kindergarten all the way up to going to school at North High. I graduated from Western Iowa Tech with I think it was my associate's, so just like my general studies degree. Before I transferred to the University of South Dakota, I graduated from USD with my Bachelor's of Arts in Communication Studies in 2018. Right off the bat, decided that, you know, I can keep going with the help of a lot of my mentors and friends. I started my grad program in the School of Education, the Master's of Education through like the ESL program. I'm currently still working on that, and I'm doing kind of a lot of side gigs, you could say, for the meantime. I'm a part-time coach at a CrossFit gym here in Sioux City, and I'm also a barista here in town. And I'm also going to start substitute teaching. So I'm kind of all over the place, to be honest. But I'm very glad to be here.
Yeah, through time, man, you'll trim it down through time.
Yes,
right?
Hopefully.
All right. And then last but certainly not least, Tyler, give it to us.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, my name is Tyler Hahn. I am the director of the Cherokee Public Library in Cherokee, Iowa. So I've actually graduated from WIT twice. I graduated in 2007 with my GED. I was one of the GED students. And then I liked it so much there, I decided I'm going to come back. I'm going to work a little bit harder and get my associate's degree. So I graduated with my associate's degree in 2011. And then in 2015, I graduated with my bachelor's degree from the University of Iowa. And now I am a master's candidate with the University of Nebraska at Lincoln.
Nice. Nice. That is good. That is good. You know, continuing your education is a part of the journey, right? It's a part of the journey. So I forgot to say, this is definitely sponsored by Career Services, the Alumni Association at Western Iowa Tech, as well as Trio Support Services. We're going to kind of go with the same order that we're doing now, first with Laura. So, and then after Laura answers, I want you gentlemen to answer the same question, if you don't mind. And we're gonna kind of start it out with, what did it feel like going from a student to a graduate? Try to tell me how you felt that day.
Oh, it is an amazing feeling. I mean, and I've, you know, furthered my education as well. And every time you graduate, it's such an amazing feeling of accomplishment to work so hard. And, you know, you do so many personal sacrifices. You can't go out with your friends tonight, you know, and because you got to study, and
yes,
to get there is awesome.
You better say it. You are definitely correct with you can't hang out with your friends all the time. That is awesome. Hey, Chris, how about you, bro?
Going off of Laura, you know, it's definitely the same thing. Like, you know, graduating from WIT to USD, both times. I mean, it feels like such an accomplishment. Being, you know, there with your peers. and seeing everyone kind of around you, and you know, your loved ones, your family members, especially being first generation. I mean, it's probably one of the best feelings, if not one of the best feelings in the world. You know, making not only, you know, making your family proud, but obviously yourself. And you know, going off of Laura, there are a lot of sacrifices with you know, putting in that work. You can't, you know, do certain things, and you know, it'll kind of pay off in the end. But it's really all about sacrificing and putting in your time and effort.
Oh, wow, you told the truth on that one. Tyler.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and echo a lot of what Laura and Chris both said. I too was a first generation college student going through the TRIO program, and my family didn't necessarily understand or support all of the work and effort it took into continuing my education. But it paid off so well, and everybody was so proud at the end of that journey. Nobody had gone through this entire experience. Like applying for the FAFSA was one of those where everybody was kind of like scratching their heads, but Western Iowa Tech had a lot of great resources with that. I know that I personally owe Sarah Klatt at least like an entire pot of coffee for assisting me with that paperwork. But yeah, it was so rewarding. There were so many sacrifices I had to make with friends and family, and just kind of my own sanity, you know, trying to get AccuPlacer scores to get into different programs and things like that. But it really was worth it in the end, kind of culminating in graduation.
Wow, that's what's up. Shouts out to Sarah Klatt from Cherokee. Is it Denison?
Denison, I'm pretty sure.
Denison, yes. Okay, I caught that right away. Y'all hit on something with you got to make sacrifices, right? There's a lot of students that aren't willing to sacrifice, but let me tell you something. If you're not willing to sacrifice, you're probably not going to accomplish it, right? And that's just facts. Moving on to our next question, and I'm sure students are chopping at the bit on this, is are you working in your major?
Yes, I am working in my major. So nursing is my major, and I am, like I said, a nursing instructor here at Western Iowa Tech. This is coming to the close of my 4th year here. Before that, I did teach at Briarcliff for 3 years. And then before that, it was practicing as a nurse, various places. But yeah, nursing is where I'm at.
That's what's up. And how about you, Chris?
So I'm, you know, like I said, being a graduate student, I'm still in the works with, you know, finding obviously, you know, a job. But I am working as a substitute teacher, and I am coaching. So even though it's not directly involved with my major, I mean, I do still work with kids, you know, work with people and teaching them, you know, like the ropes and stuff.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyler?
Yeah, so I graduated with just a general AA, and then when I graduated from Iowa, my specialization was in anthropology. So I thought I was going to be an archaeologist, and not very many holes to go ahead and dig in a library. So, but I learned the digital skills that I needed within that position to transfer to the library. So I guess I will go ahead and say kind of.
You know, and I'll probably make a statement after each round of questions. And here I just like to say that, you know, a lot of employers just want to know that you went through the rigmarole, right? That you can stick with something from 2 to 4 to 8 years and stick with the same energy. And that, my friend, makes an awesome employee, regardless of what major you're in. So going on to the next question, Laura. Did you keep your same major throughout your studies, or did you do a little changing?
I did some changing. I started off in high school, senior year. I was going to go to Creighton. I was ready, pre-med. I'm going to do it. And then I had gone a weekend to Iowa State. They had a health career thing. And they also at the same time had engineering going on. So I went to a couple of engineering sessions and was like, wow, this is really cool. So freshman in college, I majored in material science and engineering at Iowa State. And first semester in, I was like, wow, this is not for me. So then I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew I wanted to do something with healthcare, wasn't sure if I really wanted to go into pre-med. And one of my friends had been going to Western Iowa Tech for computer something, computer networking probably. He was like, hey, my sister goes to nursing school at WIT, you should check it out. And I guess the rest is history from there. Yep.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
Awesome story. Hey, Chris, how about yourself, bro?
I think I can kind of attest to like Laura's experience. I did change my major once. I think it was halfway through my time at USD. I stuck with history education, but I realized that it probably wasn't for me. And I think as time changes, your mind kind of changes as well. I figured that history education just wasn't for me. I still did want to keep the education part, but I knew that I needed something else to kind of push me through it, college. And with the help of the TRIO program at USD, I was able to switch over to communication studies. And I blossomed, and I was like a totally different student. I felt like it was a refresher almost. When I started my grad program, I figured, what, let's try this again. Let's try this education thing again. But why not, why not be like an ESL teacher? Since at one point I was an ESL student going way back in kindergarten, so I feel like I could give back to what so much what like the Sioux City district gave to me in terms of like as a student. So yes, I definitely know the challenges with changing majors. I know that sometimes it feels like you're kind of lost or you have no sense of direction. But there are lots of people that care about you and they want to see you succeed.
Facts. All right, give it to me, Tyler.
Yeah, so when I had first started at Western Iowa Tech, I thought I was going to go through the nursing program because you know what? I had straight A's in my classes. I had crushed A&P 1 and 2. I was doing micro, but just kind of getting real with the nursing instructors, having those conversations, I realized that probably wasn't going to be a career where I'm happy because nurses are dealing with, it kind of was brought on to me that nurses deal with people kind of at their worst. You're usually not in your best mood when you're sick and not feeling well. And like, truthfully, there's days where I have trouble relating to people on a good day where I kind of switched things up and I just went for my general associate's degree and just kind of moved on. But it was really great to have those real hard conversations, critically assessing my skill set and what worked for me and what made me happy.
Wow. My comment on this is I remember at Iowa State, my roommate was an engineering major and he took that, they called them weed out classes, right? That first class is going to let you know whether you're going to be an engineer or not. And those classes are sometimes needed, right? From getting into something that you may not be happy in. Moving on to the next question. This is a simple one. Was finding a job harder than college?
No. No.
Okay.
Lots of nursing positions out there. With the nursing shortage, there's going to always be lots of nursing positions available.
Okay.
So finding a job, but I guess, when I saw that question might come up, I was thinking, I didn't know if, finding that job that's right for you, that's kind of the part two of it. That you need to find that position that you fit in and can support you and help you excel. For me, I have discovered, the culture of the place is so important. In nursing, we can be in some really high stress situations. And if it's a toxic culture, it's just, it doesn't work well with me. I like positivity. I like to, think of the glass as half full. And so I need positions that kind of helped me get there.
And you know what? I think that's normal, right? I think everybody should want that. And if you don't, I'm like, wow, that's crazy, right? So Chris, you want to take a stab at it?
Yeah, I think as a future educator, I know of a good places already where I can start right off the bat. I've just met so many awesome people throughout the years, from from school to to even the gym, and building those connections. I know of a lady that's always been kind of like, hey, when are you going to start at one of the elementary schools here in Sioux City? I think they have a dual language program. And she's always bugging me like, hey, when are you going to start? When are you going to start? And like, that kind of like motivation pushes me to just like finish so I can start already in that field. But depending like with every person, I think if you have the right direction and the right people, you can definitely get or land a job, and in that sense.
Amen. Amen. And Tyler?
Yeah, yes and no. So I kind of went into the library and museum world where it is a little bit hard to go ahead and establish yourself within one of those positions. There are a lot of part-time opportunities, especially within libraries. There's over 540 libraries in the state of Iowa alone.
Wow.
There's plenty of opportunities. However, it might be hard going ahead and making ends meet with just one of those opportunities. But part of it comes down to gaining that experience, learning those skill sets, and making yourself more just kind of opening those opportunities for future growth, like getting a career and establishing yourself in a career is very much like part 2 of school, where you go ahead and start off and you gain more credentials and responsibilities as you mature as an adult.
No, that's interesting. Both of you said part 2. I'm getting some part 2s here. That's a good thing. I'm going to take a question from the chat. And of course, this is kind of an on the spot thing because we're just reading it from the chat, right? So start with Laura, do you have any advice for current Western Iowa Tech students?
Advice, get involved. Mike, you probably know more about what's happening around campus in Siouxland than anybody, but find those connections, especially to the community. I know for myself, I do things for Camp High Hope, STARS, at the horseback riding, they always need volunteers, do things that can help your community.
And it looks good on a resume.
But you should do it just because it's a connection to the community.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay, Chris, give it to us, bro.
I actually did a STARS thing with one of my professors when I was at WITS, and it was absolutely amazing. Advice for current WITS students, I'd say reach out to your professors, reach out to the services that are available for you at WIT, like TRIO, for example. Like TRIO was just like, honestly, like was like my outlet, more or less. If it wasn't for TRIO, I don't know where I would be. When Sandy and the other lady, when they were both there, they had helped me so much, finding certain things that I needed help with, all the way down to workshops. So I think it just comes down to putting yourself out there, asking other colleagues or other students for help, like, hey, do you want to get together, do you want to do something? You have to build those connections, because 5 years down the road, they'll probably still be there for you. So
that's what's up. And how about you, Tyler?
Yeah, I want to echo what Chris had said. Really take advantage of all of the resources that you pay for as a Western Iowa Tech student, because those resources can really help lighten your load and ease your stress. And I want to make that especially sure that the satellite campus students know that as well. Always feel free to go ahead and send an email off, or contact your campus directors, contact TRIO. Just, always stay in communication. You have every right to access those services, and you should.
Amen. Amen. You know, my experience from that is getting involved with things around you. I think it's a 50-50 thing. I think you learn 50% of what you need to know in the classroom, but the other 50% is social, right? And working with people that may not look like you, may not believe in the same God that you believe in, may not have the same sexual preference that you have. And that's the big part, you know, is being able to work with people around you and be okay with that. So here's another question. Anything you wish you would have done differently in your journey? You have any regrets? Laura, do you have any regrets?
That's tough. I personally, I try to view all my little twists and turns as just part steps in my journey. Um, you know, my going to WIT was not, I guess, as easy as maybe as what I had said it was. I was on the wait list for a year and a half. I lived in the WIT dorms. It wasn't the new ones. They weren't built yet. It was the ones down the hill.
Sunridge, yeah, okay.
Yep. And so I worked as a cashier part-time and at Menards. And then got my LPN, graduated. I hadn't taken my boards yet to be a licensed nurse yet. And then my husband and I, we moved to Des Moines. And there I was going to go to a local college that had told me that in a year and a half, I'd have my bachelor's degree in nursing, and had a plan, was all set up. And then halfway through the semester, I got a letter that they didn't take any of my previous credits. So I was going to have to start all over from the beginning. And so, you know, like, I don't know if I regret that, because I learned so much at that school. I had to take a class in critical thinking that just had opened my eyes to, like, you know, how to, you know, improve your thinking. But it was definitely a snag in the road.
Amen. Hey, Chris, how about you, bro?
You know, I agree with Laura. You know, all of these twists and turns, like, you know, it happens for a reason. You know, you can't really change that. One thing that I could say that I wish I could go, if there was one thing I could do, would be probably I wish I could have asked for help earlier. You know, that's the biggest thing I can tell anyone today. Like, you know, going into college, you think that you got this, that it's all you, but really, you need that foundation, you need that help to get you through college, to get you through, you know, these classes. You know, as a first generation student, you know, like, you know, your family, they're obviously going to be there for you, but they don't have that experience of going to college, so you're kind of just left by yourself, you know. So my thing is, like, I wish I could have reached out to TRIO sooner instead of waiting probably like a year and a half. So that's probably my biggest thing I can tell anyone.
Nice. And Tyler, how about you?
I don't have any regrets while I was in school. It was after I graduated. I wish I had been a bit better advocate for Western Iowa Tech. That way I could go ahead and more succinctly share how much that education went ahead and impacted my life, and how those services really went to go ahead and benefit not only myself, but the community that the college was in as well.
Wow. So going back to Laura, you know, I got from your answer is it really a mistake if you learn from it? You know, and so students,
Yeah.
it's okay to make a mistake, right? And then from Chris, you got to put pride aside, right? You got to reach out when your gut tells you to reach out. Maybe you should reach out, right? Just maybe you should reach out. And of course, Tyler, you know, we have this thing called College Central Network, and we help students after they graduate. So when you're talking about finding an advocate after you graduate, it's here, it's fine-tuned, and it's ready to go. So those students who are looking for some help after graduation, the relationship doesn't have to stop with Western Iowa Tech after graduation. You know, so just kind of FYI on that. Here's a question that I wanted to ask specifically is I was a social guy when I was at college. Are you still in touch with your friends from college?
Yeah. I mean, we're not close friends, but I went to school with a lot of nurses in the area, so I see them in the hospitals, and some of them have become my colleagues.
Right.
So, yep.
Right. I am hearing a little background noise, and I don't know who that is, but if you are listening, please mute. It kind of took me off my mojo. Let me get back on my mojo now. Chris, how about you? Are you still in contact with your friends?
I have a kind of a funny story. Like I was very introverted when I was at WITS. It wasn't until I transferred to USD that I really was able to blossom. I made friends with a lot of international students. I mean, literally everyone from the world, and unfortunately, because a lot of them had to go back because they were only there for their 4 years or so. They had to go back to their homelands. But I do still keep in touch with them every now and then. Like, let's just say New Year's or Christmas, we'll actually get together and do Zoom meetings, and well, that's how we kind of get along, or get it, still keep in touch. And obviously, social media is there, but that definitely doesn't come close to actually being able to talk to them over the phone or over Zoom. So.
Right. And Tyler, are you still close to some of the buddies that you had on this journey?
Oh, definitely. We still keep in contact on social media. Coming from a small town, I still get to see them from time to time. And it's really great, especially having those connections where people have gone and moved away and moved into different career fields. It's always nice to have those different connections.
Nice. And one of the last questions we have here is really gets to the point of what this is actually for. So when you graduated, was there anybody to help you with your resume prior to graduation, help you job search, help you with, if those of you transferred to a four-year college, was there someone there to help you with the transfer process?
I can remember at the end of the PN program, the instructors helping us with how to design a resume, and how we should go about applying for jobs, and understanding that for nursing, you're going into a licensed profession, and the bar gets set a little bit higher. And then I remember the same thing for the RN when getting to that final semester. I did transfer to University of Iowa, go Hawks, also Tyler, yeah. And there was somebody here at WIT, I don't remember her name, but she did help me with getting all those credits transferred and finding out, my plan and what I was going to have to do and what it was going to take.
Nice. How about you, Chris?
For like the college transfer itself, I had obviously mostly the help of TRIO, with like college campus visits and stuff like that. I was hoping to transfer to either the University of Iowa or Iowa State, but it kind of came down to more of a financial thing. So I narrowed my choices down to Wayne State and the University of South Dakota. And I fell in love with the college campus at USD, and I'm very, very close to my family, so that meant a lot to me, and that was actually a big factor in me choosing USD. In terms of like resumes and stuff like that, again, it all kind of falls down to TRIO. They helped me with everything, with building the resume and finding putting everything where they're supposed to be. I got to give it to them. So.
Nice. And how about you, Tyler, to end it off?
Yeah, definitely. I owe Wendy and Sarah a bunch in TRIO for the Cherokee campus. They really helped me, especially when I was looking at applying to different colleges or to transfer off to different colleges, because I wasn't even looking local. I was looking at like the University of Oregon and Corvallis. I was going everywhere, and they were even able to go ahead and go beyond and ask for like fee waivers and things like that. But even resumes and stuff, they were right on the ball with that, as well as giving leads in the community for positions as well.
That is awesome. You know, well, it seemed like we come to the end of our first panel. Something that I got out of this, y'all, is students, make sure you see your advisor, right? I think the advisor can catch a lot of things, but students have to humble themselves and reach out and see their advisor. Our next panel will be tomorrow at 12:30, hosted by our own Tina Benton. Also, I'm hearing a lot of TRIO. The director of TRIO at Western Iowa Tech, Brenda, said she's very proud of our Western Iowa Tech alumni. And I ditto that. I see people from Western Iowa Tech every day on and off campus. I think we definitely shake up Sioux City as far as allowing people to get educations who never thought they were going to get them. And I'm sure, and I hope that each and every one of you are happy with your career, because I'm happy with mine. And Chris, I know you keep looking, bro. You just keep going forward.
Thank you.
Laura, I think you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be, right?
Oh, I love it here.
Yeah. And you know, Tyler, you Western Iowa Tech employee as well. You know, the branch campuses are a good thing, you know, so you're in the works of offering Western Iowa Tech to people outside of Siouxland, outside of Sioux City. So I just respect all of that. And then hopefully we will see some people tomorrow at the other panel. We'll have 3 more electrifying graduates from Western Iowa Tech and different majors, and hopefully we can pick their brain as well. So thank you for your time, your talent, and yeah, I think y'all are in the industry of paying it forward, and that's a good thing. So
Thank you.
yes, everybody who's under the sound of my voice, thank you for attending, and I hope to see you in the hallway. Have a good day, everyone.